Hey guys, welcome back. Brian here, and this is Agent Afterhours. With me always are my two partners in crime, Luis Anaya, we call him Red, and Thomas Kadar. And this is our first episode of 2025, and it is not going to be for the faint of heart. There's a lot of stuff going on so far this year. We thought the best way to get into it is just kind of start at the middle and work our way out. We've got a number of things we're working on. We see a lot of things going on with agents from our office. We see things going on the investment side. For anybody who's been tuning into the news, the wildfires in and around LA County have been murderous on the entire real estate population. And we probably should start kind of there because it's touching a bunch of things we're doing too.
Oh, yeah.
Ray, why don't you jump into how that's affecting our flip? Let's start with that.
So the biggest issue that we obviously didn't plan for, didn't even anticipate, is the power outages. So the inspectors, obviously these new laws that kicked into place when you're flipping properties now in California, there's a lot of regulations that have you get permits for every little thing that you do in the house. Get inspections, occupancy, the amount of percentage of property that you're remodeling can obviously trigger some new codes that came into play with new laws. As we were going through the whole process, got permits, pulled everything, got everything ready, have everything ready for the inspector to come in. Here comes a fire. Here comes the power outages. Here
comes a fire.
Here comes all these issues that nobody could plan, nobody can anticipate for.
Acts of God.
This is why you have to really pencil in your numbers when you're buying flips. You don't want to be so slim where things like this can push you overboard and make you negative.
Well, yeah, I mean, COVID, the ships were stuck out at sea. You couldn't account for that. So then you have to switch like all your material.
All your planned and approved material had to be switched.
Yeah.
Had to submit new plans. So right now, the biggest obstacle that we're facing is the city of San Bernardino, the county of San Bernardino, where our flip is having issues getting ready for the power grid surges that are coming up on them. So they're going to be out for 3 days next week, completely black, the whole city. Stores, schools, shopping centers, everything. Stores, dude. Everything's going to go black.
With the refrigerators.
That's the thing. They're getting everything set up.
Jesus.
And to our surprise, and not totally surprised, but the city only has one inspector.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So
that checks out.
Yeah.
That guy is working an insane amount of overtime right now. And we've been trying to get him over to our property to check it all off because our contractor as well, he got ready. He's been through situations like this.
And luckily we got a good GC.
Oh, dude, we have a great
Can you
GC.
imagine if we had one of the previous guys?
Oh, man.
We'd be sucking some shit, man.
Yeah. So he's already set up. He already has generators. He's going to be working on the property when it's dark. No power on it, just getting all the drywalls up, flooring in, everything set up so that we can get ahead of the curve and be ready, like we said, in 2 weeks. Yeah. But there's nothing that you could have actually pre-planned for these type of circumstances.
No, dude. I mean, how many did they end up figuring out it's arson? I don't remember where they landed with that.
So the fire by my restaurant in Azusa, they're claiming it's arson.
Yeah.
And the reason that they're claiming it's arson is because insurance is the one.
Well, they don't want to pay it. Like, that's all arson.
So we got a call from the insurance agent saying, hey, because we already know it's arson, we encourage
don't even worry about calling us.
Yeah, we encourage you to figure out ways to protect your property because chances are the insurance is not going to cover.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there going like, you're kidding me, right? Like this is a prank call. And he's like, no, like I'm being dead serious. It's all over the news. Sousa Police has already caught 6 or 7 homeless people that have flame.
Yeah, he easily had about 6 matches on him. This is clearly arson.
So somebody burned down our house, our insurance wouldn't have covered
Nope.
for that?
Arson doesn't.
If that arson was the way it started.
Yeah.
Right. But how did they count that if it's like, 18 football fields over there and the house is over here and wind got it from here to here? They're still saying that's arson.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Because the initiating source was arson.
That's bonkers.
Doesn't matter how far it spreads. It's not going to cover anything.
Insane.
All the 1,000 structures that are burned down, figure it out.
I could think of a bunch of scenarios why that would make no sense. It's like, so fire started by arson, but a guy got swerved in the road. His car went way over there and that started a new fire. Well, yeah, but this started with arson. So
Yep.
That's crazy.
The first ever fire started with arson. Started with fire.
That does not make any sense at all.
Yeah. So it's, again, the upside to all this is opportunities are there. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of activity on the market. I mean, it's pretty insane to you. Once you tap into the internet, it's crazy how much negativity there is, right?
Yeah.
How much Debbie Downers there are, how much, oh my God, the world's coming to an end, the market's going to crash, interest rates are so high, no one's going to buy.
Yep.
You know, save up your money, save up your pennies.
Those are the agents who are sitting at home or not doing anything, and the ones who are going to get passed up in this real estate market.
110%.
Well, the Target they worked at burned out too.
Part-time job. So it's pretty insane because even our other flip that's already in escrow in Jurupa.
We've been out of power for a week.
We've been out of power for a week. There's no fires out there.
No.
None.
Yeah, why did they turn off the power?
Because the main power grid is on the Eaton Hill.
Oh.
That connects LA County to Riverside County.
Yeah.
And if that burns down, which is set to burn down within this weekend, supposedly, because they only have, I think they have like 13 or 20% of it contained at this point.
Oh my God.
If that burns down, all the center of communication for electricity to Riverside County is shut.
That's crazy.
So they're going to have to figure something else out. Well, they predicted that by tomorrow we should have power back on. Inspectors there. Craziest part is, I mean, everybody's saying the market's down. There's no inventory. Interest rates are high. No buyers. Dude, how many showings did we have in the house?
Dude, well, yeah, several. But it's opportunity, supply, and demand, dude. Yeah, we've had, I don't know the exact count, but I want to say it's at least an average of 2 a day.
Minimum. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
At the open house, it was
open
what,
house, yeah,
12, 18 families went through on Saturday.
and that was this weekend. But yeah, so we're what, 30 the first weekend? Yeah, so
I saw a clip in San Diego. Too. I was like,
110.
Yeah.
you saw that? You saw that house that had like had people,
110?
a literal line of people moving through the house.
How nice was
Like,
the house?
What's the
It was
next
just
home.
starter home.
Just
starter home?
Jesus.
Yeah, the price point on that property was
Very low.
very low.
Yeah.
So for the area, they did it to obviously attract a bunch of buyers.
Well, they got news.
Oh, they got on the news, dude.
Yeah.
Well, so did we.
Yeah.
We got news with the other one.
Yeah, that's true.
The Blair Witch House.
That is true. But yeah, no, so it's interesting because that property, everybody was saying that the market's low. Remember that it's not going to appraise whatever the situation is.
It appraised.
It appraised.
Today, yeah.
Got
it in.
appraised. We got it in at asking price. Nothing in the area was actually showing at that price range.
Yeah, man.
Obviously, we knew what kind of product we're putting out there on the market.
Yeah.
The whole 9 yards. Similar scenario that we're doing in Grand Terrace as well too.
Yeah.
So I mean, right now, I really think a lot of people are missing the opportunity to put their heads down and work. There's a shit ton of distractions out there.
You know what's wild is that there's I just closed a buyer and we just put a property in escrow. But the property in escrow, my client accepted an offer well under his asking price, but they were asking too much. We kind of had that conversation, but still, the audacity for someone to like write that offer was meant they felt. I mean, it's not common for them to cut that much off.
Is that Lake Forest one?
No, Aliso Viejo.
Oh yes.
But yeah, but they're like, we were getting offers and it just was a byproduct of the thing. We wanted to see if the tested market would give us these numbers anyways, but people were writing offers lower. We also had one, we were representing the buyer and we wrote the offer about $1 million, almost under, like 600,000, 700,000, got accepted. And so, but that guy had been sitting forever too, but he was a seller who was also the agent. And so, but the point is, yeah.
I love those, yeah.
Oh, I know, right? Point is that like it's there's a market right now where there's no like one way to do it.
No.
Like you can get it done, but so on the listing side, we accepted an offer way lower, where normally someone would get really bummed out and upset and get really, what's the word, prideful about the fact that they got this offer, their ego gets shot in, and be like, how dare they write these offers? And the same thing with that seller, we wrote it.
Funny, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
to cut
no,
you
go
off.
ahead,
I
go
just, this morning, I had a conversation with an agent in our office. They're still under 10 deals. So I'm not going to say any names. But they
We'll get them on here, won't
came
we?
in my office. They listed a property, let's say 1.5-ish. And their conversation with the seller was like, we're going to list it here. We're going to get offers way above this. I'm like, all right, I already don't like this where this conversation's going. So they listed it. Of course, no offers right away. It took a week or 2 weeks, and then they get an offer that's only about 50,000 below asking. And I was very stringently telling them that this is a good offer. Look at the market, look at where everything is, and I saw the condition of the home, and this is a good offer. On top of that, it was all cash and all this other kind of stuff. But and then they even countered them. I helped the agent, do a counter to them, and they push the price even higher to only 25,000 below the asking price, and the seller still doesn't want to accept because they set that kind of notion expectation that we're going to get way above asking, everything's going to be grand and everything's going to be great, and so I was very strongly telling the agent, like, you need to have a conversation with the seller, bringing them back to reality, and this is a good, solid offer. And I was just kind of getting a little pushback. I love the guy, but he was giving me pushback on kind of like, hey, the seller's telling me this, I just need to go along with it and and wait. We'll get an offer down the line. I'm like, no,
that's not the point.
No, you're not. It's not going to get there, and you need to have the conversations that you're having with your guys. Like, this is the market right now. The interest rates just went up 3 times to over 7%.
Yeah.
There's all the fires. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that as a plus or a minus, but there's fires in LA. There's a lot of uncertainty kind of going around, and the market doesn't look great for 2025 either. So you need to push them to take this offer.
Dude, how long have they been on the market?
They were on the market. They've been on the market 2 or 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
See, and there's a damn lot of sellers out there that just really needed to read the writing. I was talking to one of our agents too, and they've had a property in the market since October.
Yeah.
It's a flip, right? So, and a lot of the times there's like, family, like when you're an agent working for people, you know each other and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just, anyways, but they want a particular number. And, my conversation is always, well, have you guys gotten any offers? And like, yeah, where the offer's been significantly lower. I'm like, how many? 6. I'm like,
wow.
So
the market
what's the plan here? Are you guys going to have an honest conversation about what you want to do? Or like, I just got one question for you. Are they okay if they never get an offer? Are they okay? Like if they don't get this number, are we renting it? Like, what are we doing? It's okay. Like whatever you want to do. But, well, no, we'll just wait. I'm like, well, no, that's not how it works. Like, you don't like, if
we'll just tally up days on the market. Who cares?
How long are you okay with this? Or is it indefinite? She's like, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, well, okay, you guys really need to just have that conversation of what our exit strategy is if this isn't going to go anywhere. Because if you're not going to change anything, you're not going to get anything new. Like, it's not going to change. Plus, longer on your market, people keep seeing you. They're going to think, what's this dead duck still doing?
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a notion.
Prices come in lower and lower. I mean, that's part of what I said.
Chasing the market.
But it's that notion of not fully understanding the job. Like this career, this industry, there's a lot of layers to actually attack, and there's a lot of agents that don't have the skills, the knowledge, the experience, the overcoming objections to actually tell people the truth.
Having hard conversations. I mean,
they don't even have a hard conversation with their spouse or significant other. How do they expect to do it in business? It's so interesting to me when I sit across some people and I'm just like, you know what? It's not going to work out. Like, find someone else that's going to be an idiot that's going to let it sit on the market. A listing is a liability. It costs money to list a property. If you hire a professional, we're going to invest money into making sure that you get great exposure, great marketing, great pictures, great everything across the board. Yep. It's not free. It's not like, hey, this is a listing, check in the bank. Yep. Great. It's so crazy to me how there's so many.
You spend a lot of money and I mean, more importantly, time. I mean, phone calls and walking buyers through. And
the true sad reality about real estate is I think the lack of understanding of sellers on how to really vet an agent that's going to represent them on selling their property, selling their asset. Yeah. It is an investment on both sides. If you're hiring a poor person that doesn't even have the finances, that has a part-time job, that can't even invest on good marketing, good strategies for your property, good exposure, you're going to get shitty results. You're going to leave a shit ton of money on the table. And the sad part is nobody has ever... There's no course to how to interview an agent. There's no program out there to say, hey, what do you have to do? What do you have to ask? How long have they been in the industry? It baffles my mind how much trust they put into some people that have no knowledge, no understanding.
Cousin just got their license. And
well, what's fun, dude, is okay, so you guys have had to have seen I think it's off the 5. It says Plastic Surgery World. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, there's it's called Plastic Surgery World. It's it's like where you get your boobs done for $80.
It's like Disney World.
Yeah, well, it's like Plastic Surgery World. You know exactly what it's like over in over by the the giant outdoor shopping mall over there, the Vault, the Goliath Center. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's over on the 5.
Yes.
And it's called Plastic Surgery World. And every time I have these conversations with people, I mean, actually we train a lot of agents, but about how they choose people, I'm like, they pick agents based on know you, like you, trust you, and then care what you want. It's like the amount of people who are willing to trust their nephew's friend over any level of financial astuteness because you're handling $1 million of my equity is just it is really wild about the business. But I was like, but now, I mean, the market hopefully finds a need to shift, but it was just so easy for so long because you get your license, you sell your uncle's house. I'm gonna get 10 offers this weekend. I mean, there's my 80,000. Like I don't work the year.
But even then, I mean, out of those 10 offers, I mean, there's going to be some
negotiations.
Yeah,
you accept a bad offer that it doesn't have any financing behind it.
Yeah.
They're trying to wholesale you or something. Yeah,
Vetting the buyer.
I always think, I mean, we should start asking people like, if you're not, are you willing to go get your nose done at Plastic Surgery World? Because this is kind of like the same decision we're making here regarding this $3 million house. Is like, I'll trust Jimbo. He waters my garden, and he said he's got his license, so I figured I'd let him do it.
He's done a couple.
Yeah, he said he helped his aunt once unload her car. That was at her house. That's the same.
No, so right now I just got introduced to a seller. They're going through a divorce, bad situation. She's on the market.
She's on the market.
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean the way it sounds?
Yes, both ways.
both.
But so the house is on the market. They hired an agent because the ex-husband is the one that chose the agent, right? The whole entire process, that agent left her in the dark, right? My client that I've helped out, purchased numerous properties, helped out her family. She told her, hey, I'm your neighbor. I have a guy. Give him a call.
My guy.
Agent left her in the dark until the point where it was like, hey, we haven't had any offers. We have one offer.
I was just going to call you.
Yeah. No, it's like, I'm representing the buyer. That's what the agent said. Like, I'm representing the buyer. We have one offer. That's it. Daughter's getting home and there's like 2 cars parked in the driveway, like by her house. And she's like, Mom, there's people outside. Like, I'm going to go ask what they're doing. She go out there. She's like, hey, can I help you guys? What are you guys doing here? She's like, we're agents. We've been blowing up your agent to try to get into the house, show the property. We just got a text back from your agent saying that you guys accepted an offer and there's no more showings. Daughter goes inside, gets her mom. She goes, the hell? Like, that's not true. So she comes outside. Agent's been lying to all the agents. She's been trying to hoard the entire transaction, trying to double end it, buy it with an investor that's going to obviously flip it and relist with her.
Of course.
Right? And she's like, hey, like, what's going on here? And this is what I tell people in real estate. You might get away with a couple slimy deals.
Yeah.
Right? But real estate is a documented process.
Yeah.
And you're gonna run into people that you're gonna sit at a table at a family party, friends gathering, whatever it is. You're gonna run across some people that are gonna ask some questions about real estate. It's a topic of conversation that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about real estate. You say some things that don't sound right, and there's a person across the table that says, hey, that doesn't sound right. Let me get you in contact with this person. It's so easy to catch con artists in this industry.
Yeah.
It's so easy to run across them. It's so easy to see how slimy some people are, how desperate some people are getting right now, because in their eyes and in their view, the market is shrinking.
Yeah.
There's not enough inventory. There's not enough supply. There's not enough transactions going on. There's an insane amount of transactions going on.
Dude, it's wild.
I talk to my title rep all the time. He's like, yeah, this week alone, 2,400 transactions closed in Orange County.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just thinner. It's less of the agent population, which,
correct.
By the way, if you're new, I'm sorry, but thank God.
Yeah.
There were just way too many cuckoos in this business.
There is. It's a sad reality because right now that agent is holding the property hostage. So she put it on withdrawn.
What was she doing?
She did a she
got her
canceled.
license. I mean,
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah, that's why I told her. I was like, hey, give me a second. I'll give you a call back this afternoon. We'll sit down. We'll talk. You can sign a listing agreement with me, and I'll go after this agent. I'll make her cancel the deal. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, we'll put the property up on the market. We'll get
city?
you guys top
Santa Ana?
dollar. No, it's actually out in Paris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So again, it's like I tell people, do the right thing, dude. Like, there's so many people that are brand new in this industry that are not savvy enough to actually want to partner up with a professional that's been doing it long enough. That's going to save you headaches, time, process,
Well, and what's
knowledge,
super stupid,
lawsuits.
What's really dumb is this agent is that she probably could have done that deal with anybody.
Yeah.
She didn't have to wait for this one guy to figure it out to be the investor. Like, if you got a good deal, there's a lot of investors will let you relist it.
Well, that's the thing. She was hoarding the property, not showing it on the market because she could get more money. squeezing it down, telling the seller like, "Hey, no one's showing it. No one's showing it." So she pretty much said like,
That's
"Hey,
true.
She was
Legal.
really
Yeah.
messing with it.
yeah." So she was trying to
man.
create her own spread.
Yeah.
Like she literally said, "Hey, your house is in a track in a community where there's a new track on that side that's going to sell for more. Your house is comparable, but you know, I think we're going to get this much." She literally was creating herself $160,000 spread.
Wow.
Hey,
Like
matter of fact,
literally.
you should probably just give this away.
But that's what she said. She goes, "Hey, it's been 15 days. As you can tell, you guys live here. There's been no showings. I finally have
worthless.
somebody. I have
worthless.
finally have somebody that's
I
interested
gotta
in the
get
property."
this agent afterwards.
And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I was like,
Well,
that's insane. Like, how are people? And I mean,
that
the
is
sad part
pretty
is,
bold, though. But I mean, you know, though, when the boom was happening and after COVID, Big Bear was doing stuff like that.
oh yeah,
Like big, any of those micro areas where it's like super secluded, where there's like a limited batch of folks, desert, mountains. Those agents are.
but again, it goes back to like we were talking about a little while ago, vetting the agent that's going to represent you.
Yeah.
Like this is a lucrative industry if you know what you're doing. And some of these people, you get put into a position where you can lick your chops and be like, "Hey, if I take advantage of this person, doesn't seem like they're that knowledgeable. They're going through a hard time already right now.
Yeah.
Let me lie to one side, and then I'm going to lie to the other side, and we're good. I'll make all the money. No harm, no foul. They're happy."
Blame kids having fights at school on like violent TV. Okay, I blame this on HGTV. Like,
Yeah.
this concept of like handshake deals on private
Oh,
jets.
dude, it's
Like that is just this whole the way people do this stuff, trying to like, you know,
Finagle.
Jimmy deals together. It's like this isn't real, dude. You're never gonna get away with this stuff for long.
yeah. Well, I mean, it goes back to the notion of when you're in real estate, you have to figure out a way to invest to create yourself some passive income, to not have to stress and produce.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of agents that do this out of desperation, like sheer desperation. Like,
Especially right now. There's probably a ton of it.
Oh,
oh yeah, and that's the sad part. Like, I see that and I'm like, dude, that's insane. Like, we go through so much process. We go through the legalities. We go through FBI background checks. They let us know, like, there's fiduciary rights that you have. You could go to jail. There's felonies. There's lawsuits. So many things. So many exposures. And yet people are stupid enough to think like, well, if I con him for 20 grand, nothing's gonna happen. Like, who cares?
It's just
like,
20 grand.
Yeah, it's just 20 grand. Like, who cares?
Well, and so I mean, to kind of put, I mean, we're not immune to it. We've got good people, good agents that at some point in their life wrote a bad lease on a car and now have, 3 and 4 cars that they didn't need. And now they're in a situation where everything feels like desperation, like they have to chase down deals. But no, what I was going to say is that, I mean, even though that's the case, like the market right now, there's a lot of opportunity in it. So, I mean, you really should dig in, but like you can't take the times that are really good and say, this is the way it's always going to be. And then go spending like this is the norm for me. And then when the next thing happens, which is the wave down, be like, oh shit, I got to get rid of everything I did when it was good. It's like you kind of have to budget in advance. Like, so like when I would meet with new agents, the idea is a zero budget marketing plan. Let's get you to experience points. You know what you're doing so that like you're even spending $10 a month on something. It makes sense to do that. And a lot of people get in these spaces where they do really well. Go buy a watch, go buy a car, go on a vacation. I mean, we got agents who do well, but we don't see them for 6 months after they do a deal.
Yeah.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of them. I mean, it's across the entire industry. I mean, that happens so often.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it back in the days when loans were happening. There was a dime a dozen.
06, 07, 08, yeah.
You knew who was an LO with the BMWs outside. Like,
BMW?
you know, like it's such a cyclical thing in real estate, right?
Yeah.
But the big differentiator for us is understanding what a professional is and understanding what a hobbyist is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people get into this industry as a hobby. They think they're going to be able to do it part-time, make some money on the side, and not understand how much they're putting out in jeopardy. Like the amount of lawsuits that you can create, the amount of losses that you can cause to a family, it's insane. Like I've ran across some people that they're looking to buy another house, and I've sat and talked to them, and then I look at their past properties that they sold, and I was like, who talked you into selling it so cheap? And they're looking at me like, what do you mean cheap? And I was like, well,
Or buying it so high.
yeah, like you sold it and you left like $80,000 to $90,000 on the table on equity.
What do you mean? My cousin did that for me.
Yeah, and they're sitting there going like, oh, and the crazy part is I can't find that agent anymore. I was like, huh? Really?
Crazy.
That's so funny because somebody just referred me over to a guy that wanted to do a transaction. He wanted to sell it to his tenant. It's investment property. He wants to sell it to his tenant, and I was just trying to have a simple conversation with them and just trying to get them on the phone. Like, hey, I want to send you a market analysis, and this is kind of what your property would be worth.
Yep.
Which is obviously a lot higher than what the tenant is willing to pay. and they're like, no, I just I don't want to pay a fee. I just want to sell my property to this guy. So he's worried about the whatever fee that I'm charging, which I would probably just refer him to our escrow company so that they can handle it. But the fact that they wouldn't even look at a market report to kind of see where all this would go.
The fear factor is pretty real right now. I mean, I've talked to a bunch of people that are in situations where they have to make drastic decisions right now to downsize their housing, downsize their lifestyles because the economy is shifting on them.
Yeah.
And
Brian, you've had a lot of one-on-one conversations with the agents in our office, and you sat down with them and you really talk to them and coach them about some stuff. How are those conversations going, and what do you see as the trend and kind of
really good? But I was going to mention something on that. So we did have a deal just fall out because the dude works at Meta.
Oh
yeah, he pulled out. No, not yet. But he said he canceled. He was right in the beginning, so he canceled his transaction because until he knows if he has a job, he's going to stay. But that was a major layoff thing that started anyways. But yeah, the agents. So we obviously have a significant amount of new agents who maybe have no transactions, many of who are licensed or like getting their license. Like we have them as cadets, I guess you call it. But anyways, they're in the
PCX program.
So the productivity coaching program. So we have the coach for that, obviously, and he's doing a really good job. But we've got this gap of people who aren't, established. They don't really necessarily just, hey, here's my book of business. Here's what I'm doing. I've been doing this a long time. But they're, the 2 deals to 10 deals to whatever amount of deals. And they still need a lot of help. But because every situation could be relatively new, but they're also on their own. It is wild. Everything's very unique. I've probably had 5 one-on-ones since last week, same time. And everyone's been a little bit different, but their walk of life is different, obviously. I mean, you guys know these people. One is on their 5th child right now. 5th, by the way. I thought it was 4th. It's 5th. 5th child. And, every time.
I have 4, so.
Well, every time that happens, though. So she's not due yet, but any day, and that's 2 months out, Yeah. And so, but we're also in January, so 2 months out. It goes April, and then you got 4 months until winter, right? So there's not much time. So there's those conversations about business planning. A lot of them feel burnt out. And well, not all of them. Some of them feel burnt out, and the question is, why do you feel burnt out? Exactly. It's like, well, as an agent, like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, burnt out. I'm like,
what is burned out?
Yeah, I was like, by the way, I know your production. Like, what are you burnt out on?
I was burned out.
And
12 years.
So yeah, absolutely, like totally burnt out. So I've had some of those conversations with people, but and not to be mean. I'm like, okay, yeah, but I mean, burnout's really common, but I was like, it's a lot of emotional, like just process over and over and over again for some of these people. They just get really in their head about this business. So the objective we've put in place is to take a lot of that. What am I doing next? Because where they're at is they've done a deal and they actually don't know how they did the first one. They don't know how they got it. Like, what I'm saying? They had no pathway for it. They just did the stuff we told them to do. And somebody showed up with the thing. Oh yeah, I'll do a house. We tell them, this is how you prospect. This is what you got to do. And somebody did show up, but they never connected the dots and say, oh, those things are related. And so they don't really have this kind of everyday mission pathway, and everyone keeps advertising new ideas. And so all they do is like, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? I have talked to many agents, all of them, most have been in the exact same, I might have to get a second job. I'm not sure. And I'm like, dude, you are way too good at this to be even thinking about getting a second job. What are you doing? And so I don't say that, of course, but what we do is we set up times and we get together. But so it's been similar for everybody. So I guess my thing to say to the people watching is that it's not uncommon to have been doing this a while and still feel like I must have just failed because I don't know what I'm doing now that everything is kind of shifted. And so the good news is what we teach them is we're going to go back to so simple, so basic. All the deals are right there. And it's like we've been taught to look this way. And so we just don't want to turn around and look that they're back there now. Change direction. They're right over there. And so the stuff that we're training people to find off market opportunities, That's working. 50% of the deals that people bring in, we close them. The other 50, they close them. Off markets are working. Our open house method, that's working. Dude, Clinton did mine the other day. They got 10 groups through.
Wow.
It's been on the market for over almost 2 months now.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, 10 groups.
Lisa Veo, which one?
Elisa Veo, yeah. And so, but that's that one. And so he actually is going to do my other property, small condo. I said, look, it's a really small condo. And so they did something which honestly I did great credit for. They found somebody else in the neighborhood. They're holding them both open at the same time.
Santa Ana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're doing both. It's a good idea. I would, but anyways.
Seems like you control the market.
Yeah. What's up?
But to add to what you were saying right now, it's very interesting to me because you're 100% correct. It's very easy for them to feel burnt out. The irony to it, in my mindset or the way I look at it, I don't understand where they get the negativity from, because in our office, there's none.
Right.
Like, at least in us three, we're never talking about negative shit.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I ran into a couple agents where he looked at me and he goes, "Hey, Red, what would it take to join your office?" And I'm like, "Oh, dude, just come and have a seat with us." And I was like, "Have you been looking at our podcast? What's going on? Like, what questions do you have?" And he goes, "Honestly, every time I've seen you, you've never had anything negative to say about the market. It's like you're always thinking optimistic. You're always looking at options. You're always looking at future properties. You're always looking at new opportunities. You're looking at flips. You're talking about new listings coming up on the market. I've never once heard you say like, dude, I'm tired. This market sucks. The interest rate's this, interest rate's that."
Most other brokerages.
And I'm like, really, dude? Like,
Yeah.
And he's like, "Dude, my office, I don't even go to my office anymore. It's like nothing but negative people there."
3 of the one-on-ones, they actually said, they stopped me dead in my thing for them. Like, I'm going through stuff, and they're like, "No one has ever done this with me before." I said, "I've been there," and they've been in the business for a while. I was like, the last place I was at, they did meetings and stuff. He said, but it was the owners were interested in their production, or the owners, and the meetings were about him talking about what he was doing and why we should go do that, whatever that was. And so it's like, yeah, it's it's stuff that's like, well, this kind of just makes sense. You should do this in an organization, or at least one that's kind of more team oriented than it is like, me down, because like we have to do this in a group concept. But yeah, it's like, it's weird to me because like, I think this is just the way you should think, but it's like, it's apparently not very common.
No, it's
people
not.
out there like succeed and be positive.
Yeah, we just had the Compass come in, do a great class.
Yesterday.
Just a bunch of stuff that agents can use. Learn what were some of the things that talk.
Well, so yeah,
attorneys.
they what there was I forget what their class was called, but it was basically so this thing called, which by the way, that lawyer letter thing, that looks really good. Michael, he had never heard of that. He didn't do the letter. He said he liked the idea. He went and hit the phone real quick, and he got, I think he said 2 lawyer appointments for today.
Wow.
So
Nice.
so he left at noon to go and meet with attorneys, like over the phone.
Yeah.
Like, attorneys don't like people to start with, but but this guy he's supposed to call me when he's done. I said, I want to hear how it goes. But yeah, the attorney letter I really liked. So
What was the gist of that?
the just letter, I don't know what it says. We have a copy of it, but it's basically,
it was just like, basically, I'd love to meet with you and like business.
but it does do a couple very specific things, which are very strategically smart, which
It's trust attorneys primarily.
no, but it's not, but that, yes, but
Yeah.
the point of it was how it was
Yeah.
packaged and drafted was to get past the gatekeeper of this is an important letter, which was really smart. And so that was one. There's
works,
a thing
by the way.
called we're going to do it. So I'll let you know. So actually I talked to you shut it. So we talked to Mike about doing a small, like group project of like, let's get everybody in here and call and do this stuff who are like in the next level.
Yeah.
Who can handle attorneys, because you can't just be a new agent and handle attorneys. You'll get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
But there was that one. There's the 7% method, which was one of them. There's they pitched tax strategy was a big component, which was that's a big deal. And there was a few other straggling items, but the corporate one, which is corporate relocation, basically going into a company and taking over the relocation by being their agent and education to help people do stuff. So there was that, helping their people who work there buy houses so they're less likely to transfer.
Right.
Oh,
That's
stuff
a
like
good
that.
one. Teaching
Yeah,
classes.
that was a really that's a big project one,
Yeah.
but there was a bunch of them. And I was like, God, if you're any agent, nothing to do, none of these cost any money.
Yeah.
Like not a single one of them
Free.
cost any money.
You could
The,
throw together
the lawyer letter will
marketing
cost
piece
you
or something.
a ream of paper and
Yeah.
2 hours of your day. It'd be so easy.
Which we supply to the office.
Which is free at the printer. Right? But I mean,
Being
it's so
oriented,
simple. Right.
Being enrolled in our office, you get it for free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that lawyer letter has worked. I have two attorneys that I've done it with, and I've already gotten a couple deals out of them this year. And again, it just goes down to being a resource for them. Knowledge, understanding the environment you're in, the knowledge of the brokerage that you're assigned with or that you hang your license with. There's a lot of key components that really factor into your success, right? And this is the biggest thing. Like I always like to kind of take a step back and look at, oh, damn, like I know, God, in my circle, I know about 15, 16 agents, right? And out of those 15, 16 agents, maybe 3 are producing agents.
So there's no way you only know 15 agents.
No, I'm saying in my close circle.
Okay.
Like not
You actually be friends.
Oh, dude, like no, I know.
Oh, see, I'm friends with like no agents.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah.
Friends
Yes,
with
I don't really enjoy
it's
agents.
maybe you guys.
Maybe, yeah, on a Saturday.
No, dude, I mean, I've actually sold houses of like family friends where their kids are agents. And I'm just sitting there going like, and yeah, the mom literally told the daughter in front of me, she goes, I was going to trust you with this, but I know you don't know how to handle this.
You're a
like,
dumb putz.
you've never sold a house. You have your license for 2.5 years and you want me to trust you to sell my property.
Mom, my TikTok's got like 4,000 people on it. I dance every day. You've seen me.
It's again, I like, it's just crazy to me. Like I take a step back and I'm like, who the hell would hire you? You know, like it just, it's insane to me. Cause like
Plastic surgery world.
yeah, it is, dude. I mean, like I tell people, just because you have a driver's license doesn't mean you really know how to operate a car.
Or should.
Right. Or should operate a car. Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with real estate. You know,
Yeah.
you get your license. A lot of people think it's an individual sport. Like when you get into real estate, there's not a lot of guidance other than the trust and the integrity of the office that you go sign up with. If they have
more
no
like
foundation,
an endurance race, right? What are those ones where like you start off and like, hey, well, here's the cone. You got to get 20 miles that way and find the other cone. Like that.
and then walk backwards.
Yeah. And then that's like one of those like death races.
Yeah, it is. And and like I said, it's just one of those things where it's like you have to put in the grit. Like when I hear people say I'm tired, I'm like, well, you're gonna get passed up.
Fuck, you're tired.
You're-
Like your
you're
feelings don't
You're
matter.
gonna get passed up, dude. Like
Yeah, man. That was like I think one of the biggest. I mean, we come from sports, so you don't really do tired too well, but there's a mental tired that you never really like. I didn't like take to school very good. I just didn't enjoy it very good. I didn't take to me no school no good. No be so good no school. That was terrible. Wow. I guess that makes my point for me. But I'd get exhaustion from finals and stuff where some kids were like, they just take for tests. But you get exhausted. It's like, well, you still got like these things you got to do or you will not get paid. It's like you got to get these scenarios out, these reports. Like I've got reports I got to do now. I'm like, these got to go out today. Like if they don't go out today, it's going to be another day of this. And I'm losing the space of the energy we have. And it's like, we got to go. It's like, so yeah, the market, but I am really, really excited about the market this year.
Oh, I am
There's
too.
enough people out. It's like we can see the swell of waves. Like we can see it. We're just not telling you about it because like it's on its way. You can literally see the storm cloud, and it's right over there. But
So
if you
much
have not surfed
demand.
before,
It's crazy.
if you have not surfed before, you can't see what we can see. So we're just going to share it with you once it gets here. But until then, it's on arrival. It's like, dude, there's so much coming.
dude, and then just wait until the dust settles from the LA fires. How many agents were counting on their commissions to be cashed from properties that were about to close transactions that burnt down? Like there's one property that's still on the market right now that burnt in the Palisades. It was for $7.9 million in escrow. It was in escrow, dude. And like even worst case scenario, say you only got 1% commission. You're a crummy agent. You don't know how to negotiate. You have no value. It's still 70 grand.
Yeah.
$80,000 that you were going to make right there.
Yeah.
That right there alone is a lot of money for a couple agents, right? So there's that wave of agents
the ones in Malibu. Like I had a client looking at Malibu 3 months ago, and we were looking at stuff, and it was overpriced, and we were telling people, and nothing was sparking, but every property we looked at expired, not one sold. We looked at not one sold. We looked at a number of them, and not one had sold. and it's like that entire market is deflated. Well, think if you're an agent, you just spent 5-6 months trying to market a $9 million house.
That
didn't go anywhere.
Marketing cost,
and it didn't go anywhere, and they're not selling. And so at that point, an $8,000 check's a really big deal.
Yeah,
because nothing's moving.
Well, there's also there's a story right now on Instagram about this guy who got this amazing flip out in Palisades. Took money from his dad, took money from his father-in-law, took out private loans himself. This was a life-changing kind of money. I think he purchased a property for 1.65, and he was going to relist it for 6.9.
Oh, well, at least that 1.65 entry is pretty good.
Oh, dude, that entry was insane. It was one of those anomalies where it's like, you're
probably going to prison for buying this.
You found a 4-leaf clover. Like you literally,
insurance is still not going to cover it.
Oh, sad part is he already came out. He goes, dude, it was a life-changing opportunity to a life-ruining opportunity in the blink of an eye.
So the financing, but mostly it was family money, so it shouldn't be.
No, but it was hard money as well too. He didn't take out all the money. He took out, but he
borrowed land value. If he's in for 1.6, he should be able to get for land value.
Yeah, but you still got to pay the $95,000 to clear it up.
Oh, fucking hate it.
Like you got it in order for you to sell land that is occupied in residential real estate, it cannot have any debris.
Oh, that's true.
It has to be plug-in ready.
Yeah.
So you got to go out there. You got to trench out all the sewage. You got to trench out all the electrical. You got to trench out everything else. You're going to spend.
He's bankrupt or what?
Yeah, he's in a bankrupt.
Oh my God.
He's in a bankrupt, and that's why I tell people a lot in this industry. The hardest thing to understand with real estate is you can never count on your money.
No,
if you're investing, you're not investing money that you're counting on. You're not investing and you're risking.
Don't get excited when you sign a listing. Don't get excited when you put in escrow.
Don't get excited.
The day they go to sign the documents and they're closing tomorrow.
No.
Yeah, it closes when it closes.
No, it closes even when it closes.
Even after
you still
when check goes to the broker and you ain't got your check yet.
Oh, dude,
well, that's not us as a broker, so don't count your check yet,
dude. Like I always tell people, the risk that you take in being a professional real estate agent is insane. It's mind-boggling. It's not for the faint of heart. No. It really isn't. As much as glamorous as it looks like on TV, there's so many things that you got to go through. Just like the obstacles we faced on Jurupa Valley. That shit was insane. Getting calls at 2:30 in the morning. Hey, they're taking down the solar panels. Who the hell's taking down the solar panels? What do you mean? Yeah. Hey, they're draining the pool. They're going to use it as a skate park.
Yeah.
It's like your house is listed on Instagram that it's a vacant property for skate park and it has a pool. It's like 300 skaters are about to show up. That was a
first for me personally.
300 skaters are about to show up.
I just thank our lucky stars that no one spray painted it yet. The actual pool.
Yeah, I know.
Because they spray paint the pool and stuff like that. They make it all like skaterific.
Dude, it's insane the amount of moving parts that happen in a transaction.
Right.
I mean, it was towards the end of last year when I was in New York. I was talking to my buddy and he called me and he goes, hey, remember that deal I was about to cash out on? And I was like, yeah. It's like the seller passed away. And I was like, what do you mean?
Well, he passed away with his head in the oven. So
he's like, dude, the seller passed away, doesn't have a living trust. Nobody else is on title. It was just him. So the property's going to go to probate.
Is this a deal we discussed?
No.
Oh, okay.
Different deal.
Okay.
It's like the property's going to go to probate. And I was like, you're fucking shitting me. And he goes, nah, dude. And it's like, the worst part is I took a commission advance.
Oh. Oi.
Yep. It's like, and you hear that often.
Great judgment. Great judgment by all these agents.
It's proximity of who you surround yourself with.
There's a real estate company that's their marketing pitch right now. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
There's a real estate company, a major brokerage, new kid on the block. That's their pitch.
Yep.
Don't wait to get your money. We'll get it cash advances.
You give it cash advances.
That's their whole shtick for agents.
You bring a transaction in, we'll give you a cash advance.
I think we should run odds on how long it takes for that to torpedo.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Like, can you imagine the odds on that? Like, that thing is... Purple Bricks at their 1% thing lasted in the U.S.
Oh, dude,
that's a year.
What was the other one? Purple Bricks? There was another one.
One Home or...
the buying property?
Yeah, the buying property ones.
Well, Purple Bricks was like a no commission.
Yeah.
Open
like
door?
model.
Not Open Door. It was another one. I know it was like a digital one.
Money.
Yeah, it's almost $500 million. Something like that. But no, but that company, that's the, I think it's Realty spelled with a Y or something like that. Right? Realty?
Oh yeah. It's not, it's like almost like reality, but it's
reality.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. I don't want to, like, if that's you company, I'm sorry. I don't want to bitch you out, but the pitch was like, don't wait to get your commission. You work hard for your money. Don't wait to get it. It's like,
right.
you guys are fucked. Like, how are you going to do that?
They're just gonna
Or they
shave
like
30%
triple leverage
on
their
it?
house and like, well, the interest rate's 80% though.
No, so it was funny because like I just mentioned to him, it's proximity of who your brokers are, like the type of agents, the type of business minded people that you're actually closely working with.
Hopefully they're
Because-
protecting you from making decisions.
Oh, dude, it was like he called me about it, and I said, "Hey, dude, personal opinion, don't take a commission advance." And he goes, "Whoa, like." How many have you taken in your career? And I was like, dude, I've been doing this shit for 18 years, never taken once. And he goes, really? It's like, you've been able to, dude, you have 4 kids. And I was like, bro, I budget myself. I make sure I don't go and I don't spend above my living expenses. I don't live above my means. Like you have to be very meticulous with your money.
Yeah.
It's like you do, especially in real estate. If you do not know how to budget yourself in real estate, you're going to go belly up real quick. It's so easy to actually run through so much money, not know how to manage how much you're going to put on your taxes aside.
Yeah.
Dude, before I was even with you guys, I didn't know about cost segregation. I didn't know about,
I didn't either,
you know,
honestly.
all those things to actually write off. Like I was happy paying Uncle Sam.
Oh, I wasn't.
And I was like, I mean, I wasn't happy about paying him, but I was like, oh, well, this is what I got to do.
Yeah.
Lack of proximity. You're not in
Yeah.
you're not in the room with business minded individuals that you really want to protect your investment. You really want to protect your longevity in the business.
I will say that, and you guys can tell me if you think this is right or not, but what I've seen as a trend from the real estate industry is a race to something that resembles simple mediocrity. It's like, how good can we make this look and have like the least amount of like weight to it? Like the companies look really shiny, but it's like, how dumb can we make this like really be? So it's like, we just collect agents. There's not much in here. Like like the real estate, like as a profession, it's like we're taking like an industry that really should resemble doctors and lawyers by how much they really need to understand about the economics of everyday life.
Yeah.
And saying, we really just have to deliver mail, bud. Like that's about as much as you got to do. Like, and it's like, I feel like that's what's going on. It's like some people, you know, they embrace it. You know, there's, you know, the help you sales and they're like, we charge you $300 kind of companies and they embrace it. They're terrible. But there's companies who are like,
They
really,
embrace being terrible.
Yeah, they embrace being absolutely terrible. But there's companies that they tout the idea of being very luxurious. It's like, but dude, no one understands even that they shouldn't be doing things as a sole proprietor. There's so much. They don't even have an ounce of actual sense about how any of this is supposed to work.
What's the funny part is that, I mean, those discount brokerages that are charging $300, $500.
Or the flat fee.
Yeah. The flat fee. I mean,
1 monthly fee. Yeah. All that.
I mean, I don't know who, maybe it makes sense for somebody, but for anybody who's taking this seriously, I mean, I don't, how can they possibly want to go somewhere where they're not getting any support, they're not getting any questions answered, no help with marketing, no help with taxes, investing, any of these things?
That's what I'm saying. They know nothing.
The sad part is they know what they know.
Yeah.
So they're all they're chasing is,
Shit.
I don't want to give you money because I don't see any value out of it.
Right.
And that's what they feel like. And I've had,
I'm going to hold on to this $10,000 I would make a year.
yeah,
when
It's
I
like,
could be making 300,000 if I get help.
I lived that. Like I literally was like, I remember I would read the statistics of real estate and they would say, oh, you know, average realtor only closes 2 to 3 deals a year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm the shit. I close 7 deals a year. It's like I've done 2 flips this year. I must be in the top 1%. And then I got invited to that $1 billion mastermind, and I was just like, holy shit. I'm not even a speck in this mother.
And I'm only in the top 3%.
Yeah, like I'm not even nowhere near it. Like it's insane. Like, but again, like for instance, I think the other one was Smart Home. I was just reading up on them.
Smart Home. That sounds right.
Yeah, Smart Home is the flat rate brokerage or whatever the situation is. They got a lawsuit. They were lying to their agents. They never had E&O insurance. I was like, what?
That's
Like,
one way to save money.
yeah, I was like, that's one way to save a shit ton of money. It's like, who cares, dude? Like, roll the dice.
Yeah.
Guys, don't get sued.
Yeah.
Do everything legit. We won't bail out.
They're independent contractors. We don't need life.
Yeah, dude, it
As
was.
soon as you get the first lawsuit. All right, bye, everyone.
We're from London. We're from London. We don't know.
No, so Smart Homes, what I was reading on there is that they fired the broker and they tried to pin it on the broker of that license. They were trying to pin it on him that he didn't do his job. So by firing him of getting E&O insurance for the company, by firing him, they thought that they were going to get rid of the lawsuit.
Smart.
No, he's not here anymore. We got rid of him. That is actually really fucking funny. No, sir.
That was him. That was him.
We fired. He's over there.
Go sue him over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over there.
And again, the risk, I think, I mean, to bring this all home, it's the risk in this industry right now as things continuously keep shifting.
Fast.
All the things that
fast.
happen extremely fast. Like I'm very interested to see the numbers that Zillow, PWR, all these different agencies are going to come out with on how much money was lost in real estate, like transactions that were on the market, not just buildings that were burnt or commercial centers or anything else. Transactions that were on the market, commercial and residential. How much money was lost, and how is that going to trickle over into how many agents are just going to leave? You know, because there's so many anomalies in this industry to lose your money, lose your ass. Like so many things can happen. For instance, clients could die. They don't have a living trust. They don't have any kind of ways of protecting their investment, because you as an agent, you take on a listing and you don't even educate your clients on how to protect your own commission.
Because they don't.
Yeah, because they don't know. So to bring it all back, again, plug in with us, guys. Like, we're still a brokerage. We're in Costa Mesa. We're very active in the industry, and we're not just active in the sense of the money, just to make money. We're in it for the long haul. We want to build a career.
For us, this is a public service announcement. To be honest, the hardest part about this job is that we're educating from like the mountaintop, trying to yell down, say, it's really like this up here. You don't do that way. Go to that side.
It can be
this
better.
Direction.
Yeah.
So we have a brokerage, we have an investment fund. We do a lot of coaching and outreach because we're very passionate about trying to change the way that people are taught and how they can come into this business. So like, the name of the company is Legacy, because we want to make sure that we're helping people understand that the depth of what you're trying to do in real estate goes far beyond the idea of, first time home buyers and like how to get a listing and like just the most remedial stuff you can think of. Like, it's very much to help everyone understand the dynamic of building a legacy for you and your family, so you don't go through all the problems that people go through in real estate.
Yep. And shameless plug. Congrats, guys, on tying up that other 58 properties.
Hey,
St. Louis.
got it. Yeah.
It's like, we're actively doing it. We don't just come on here and talk the talk. I mean, we're walking the walk. We're investing our money. We're putting our boots on the ground. We're working through the trenches. We're doing transactions. We're doing flips. We're doing investments here. If you really want to learn and you really want to actually protect your career in real estate, reach out.
It gets a lot more fun in the giant 5,000 square foot office we have than it does in this little 20 by 20 room.
Yes, it does.
It's a great space. So listen, it's been great having you guys. As always, this is the Agents After Hours podcast. We're here to answer any questions you have. If you want to reach out because you have something specific you'd like us to teach about, we're always welcome to that. Or if you would like us to focus on your general area, reach out to us. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on the next podcast episode. See you then.
Peace.
All right. Thank you. That was smooth. So much to talk about 2025. It is interesting.